Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Skookum Milling. Just gonna do a couple videos that'll be coming up, showing you a few things about our how we're gonna mill, where we're gonna mill, what kind of milling we're gonna do. Probably go over the mill a little bit, show you some other implements that go along with it that we'll be using, and just kind of generally prepping for getting started in this business. So hang on a second, we'll take a look at things. Well, first thing about this, I guess everybody should know, I'm not, this is more of a hobby than an income generating thing for me, and I'm retired, but I've been a woodworker all my life, and so it's just something that just fits very well with the rest of my my life. I love the woods, the outdoors, and woodworking, and I love tools of any sort, power, hand, big stuff like a sawmill. And we'll get into some of that in a minute too. But, mainly what I bought this for was I just really enjoyed the thoughts of sawing lumber for people, to go on site, on their site, saw their timber up into lumber for them, that they can use for whatever reason they need, whatever suits them. I'll obviously be sawing some for myself, but I'm a little bit limited on space at my place here, and I really don't want to end up with just stacks of boards everywhere. So I don't really want to be in the lumber sales business. I want to saw for myself and what I can actually use, and then saw for other people. So that's primarily what we're going to be doing, going mobile on site, probably charging by the hour. Plus travel and expenses to do that. Talked to a lot of other guys that have done it and have done it well and are successful in it and doing just that, just using that model. I'm a big fan of not reinventing the wheel, so to speak. So I'm happy to copy somebody else's successful idea and utilize it in my own way. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So in a minute here, I'm gonna turn this camera around and kind of show you the mill. Right now it's all covered up and tarped off and stuff. I'll uncover it and kind of show it to you and kind of show the area where I'm gonna set it up for operation when I am milling here at my home. And then I've got a tractor I'll show you that is a work in process as well, and that we'll use quite a bit around here for moving things around and what have you. So yeah, so give me a second here, we'll get things uncovered, and we'll go over the mill a little bit. So this is the area that I'm going to dedicate for placing the sawmill. We'll go from where these railroad ties are, where they end right here. We're going to extend them straight off over to our garden spot, our garden fence over there. And so all of that area, which is roughly about 25 by 75, will be dedicated to the sawmill, to stacking lumber. I even have plans, I'm thinking about building a dry kiln to dry wood also. So probably build that down at in the other corner or something. I'm not sure how I'm going to lay this all out, so I just want to show you that before I uncover the mill. Okay, here's the mill uncovered, and once again just a quick pan of where it's going to be. This right here is one of our old horseshoe pits. The other ones are right there at the back of the mill. I got to fill those in, level it out. But so we're just going to dedicate this area. I'm just going to let the grass die out here and just let the sawdust take over from there. And this is where we're going to do it. So in a moment here, I'll step around in front of the camera and we'll kind of go over the procedure of opening the mill up and what have you, and show you, for those of you that don't already know, and for those of you that do, I think hopefully you'll find it interesting. Okay, for those of you who don't know about these mills, this is it's made by a company in Indiana. It's a Wood Miser sawmill. My particular model is LT35 HD, which means it's equipped with hydraulics. So you can see it's mobile. You just drop it onto the ball of my truck and take it wherever I want to go. It's got jacks and outriggers here that are lowered to stabilize it. These are the bed. This is the bed where the logs go. This, as I'll show you in a little bit when I unfold it, these lift the logs up onto the deck to secure it. This is to roll the log on the deck so you don't have to manually do it. This is a clamping device that pushes it over and holds it steady against these backstops. Okay, so it doesn't roll off the other side of the mill. This is the control station here where I operate it, showing, you know, to determine what speed I want to go at, what height I want to, what depth I want to make the cut, that sort of thing. It's got a lubrication system for the blade, which we usually use a combination of Dawn dishwashing soap and a little Pine Sol, just to cut the pitch and what have you. Got a 25 horse Kohler Commander electric start motor on it. Works really well. 5 or 6 gallon fuel tank, I'm not sure which. And then the business end of things is right here. So you can see it's an LT35, as I said. And basically what these are is a bandsaw laid on its side. And so it's got a big 1.25-inch blade here with nice sharp teeth on it until you hit something with them that saw through the log and make your lumber. This is called a debarker, which is spring loaded, and it's kind of like a router. It runs right ahead of the blade and cuts a groove, and thereby removing any rocks or dirt or what have you, so before the blade gets to them. So it helps prolong the life of the blade. Tail end of the mill here, and you can see the stop lights on it, and yeah, and so it tows beautifully. I had to tow it about a little over 200 miles to bring it home, and just towed like a champ going down the freeway 70 miles an hour. So yeah, so give me a second here and we'll show you how it unfolds. First, you run the saw head up high enough to clear the lifting forks. Okay. Then we simply roll it back down here. Powered, so it rolls along. Next thing to do is to remove the fenders so they're not in the way. Unhook the chain that secures the forks. So you can see, you just roll the log up with using this is a cant hook, but using a PV or a cant hook or what have you, roll it up onto these forks, and then it hydraulically will lift it up there. I'll just run through operations a little bit. So the controls for the mill, all the hydraulic operation happens back here. You can see you've got this is the control for the clamp that moves it in and out to hold the log. This moves that same clamp up and down to set the height. This controls the log turner and those backstops that I showed moving a moment ago that the log rolls up against. You can set the height that they're at so you don't saw into them. This is a toe board, those black rollers that you can see at each end. That's so if you got a really uneven log that's much bigger at one end than the other and you want to level it out, you just lift it up with those toe boards. Then you saw the controls for the log, the forks to lift the log up, and I can't remember what the capacity of it is. It's pretty good. It's like, gosh, I want to say it's like over 3,000 pounds that it'll lift, and I've seen guys on other YouTube channels lifting a lot more than that, and so it really does a pretty good job. So then up here is the cutting controls. So you've got this is forward and backward. This is your forward speed that adjusts, and you just, it's auto feed. You just set the speed and then you walk along behind it. This of course is the key to start the engine and to run everything. This is for that debarker that I mentioned that cuts a, sorry about the dogs. My dogs and neighbor dogs are playing here, so maybe I'll come back. Okay, to continue on, I may have misspoken earlier. This is to raise and lower the cutting head, as you can see, it to set the depth of the cut that you want. This controls the forward speed of cut. Over here we've got the debarker control, which cuts the groove in the log right ahead of the blade to protect it from dirt and rocks and what have you. This just simply moves it in and out of the way. And then this is the forward and reverse controls to walk the sawmill along. So it also has a feature called Simple Set, which you can pre-program 2 different depths of cut. And when you just you set it and start it, and then you just bump the height control, and it repeats that depth of cut every time. So you get very uniform cuts. And if you've got a cant that you want to cut into 1/2 and you set it at 7/8 of an inch, you'll get a 3/4 inch cut every time. So and the 7/8 versus the 3/4 is to allow for the kerf of the saw blade itself. So simple as that. The deck is just simply, as I said, these stabilizers go down. You level the mill all out with these, get it all nice and stable so it's sitting firm for you. These are hydraulically controlled. There also are a couple that are not. They're manually controlled if I need them. As I said, this is the clamp that holds the log in. This is the turner. Another manual backstop, and then another power one. These are those toe boards that I was talking about. They're hydraulically operated to lift that log up one way or the other. And I believe the cutting length on this, I think you can cut a 21-foot long log on here. And I think the maximum height is 32 inches. And the maximum width is between this, and this is adjustable. And I believe it's 26. So it'll do some pretty serious lumber cutting. So really excited about it. I got it right at the right before winter. I got it in November. Brought it home, barely got to use it at all, covered it up for the winter. Have done a little bit. You can see a little stack of lumber I've got out there under a tarp. That's a bunch of walnut and elm that I sawed up, and got it all stickered out in my garden spot. So I really don't have much. I've got a few logs here, a few Doug firs that I brought in that I'm gonna saw up here, and I'll probably give you a video of that too, and go from there. So yeah, once again, very excited about it. I'm really in the learning stages. I hope that you find this interesting. I'm going to bring you along for this whole journey, you know, hopefully it turns into something. I do need a shout out to my beautiful bride for tolerating me and my toy collection, and she's very patient with me, very tolerant of it, and I appreciate that very much. So we'll be back to you soon. Stay tuned for the next video. Will probably be about our tractor. And so I'm going to have a 2-track thing here. I'm going to have a set of sawmill videos always, but I also have to do quite a bit of work on that tractor. So I think I'm going to run a series. I'll probably develop it into a playlist on the channel regarding that as well. So, okay. So, hey, thanks a lot. And until next time, talk to you soon.